What did you get arrested for?
It was for assault.
Assault on who?
Assault on a person.
Yes, assaults usually are on a person. Tell me, was it a boyfriend situation? Was it
It was a
girl?
friend situation. I was defending somebody else.
Okay, but what were you accused of doing? 'Cause
Basically,
punching
assault,
someone?
yeah.
What? Punch it. It was your hands. Were there any weapons involved?
Yes, but
What kind
I'd
of a
rather
weapon?
not speak about it on.
Oh, is it still pending?
No, it's kind of personal to me.
Oh, that's too bad.
This is the plaintiff, Ariel. She says the defendant stole money out of her bank account and refuses to pay her back. That's right. This woman owes her $3,000 of her hard-earned money, and no matter what she does, the defendant refuses to return it. So she's suing. This is the defendant, KK. She says the plaintiff got arrested for hitting a girl in the back of the head with a bottle. And she gave her bank card to get the cash needed to bail her out. Any money that was returned, minus fees and things, she endorsed and gave to the plaintiff's mother. Now the plaintiff's trying to frame her and extort $3,000 from her. And that's just not right. She's accused of bailing on a friend. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,500 for defamation of character.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You seated? Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Okay, Ariel,
Yes.
you are suing KK for $3,000 of
Correct.
yours that she took from a bank account with your authority to post a bond, but then a whole lot of drama happened afterwards.
Correct.
All right, what happened?
Okay, basically, I depended on my friend to bail me out, but she wasn't old enough, so she told me about her.
What did you get arrested for?
It was for assault.
Assault on who?
Assault on a person.
Yes, assaults usually are on a person. Tell me, was it a boyfriend situation? Was it
It was
another
a
girl?
friend situation. I was defending somebody else.
Okay, but what were you accused of doing? 'Cause
Basically,
punching
assault,
someone?
yeah.
What? Punch it. It was your hands. Were there any weapons involved?
yes, but
What kind
I'd
of a
rather
weapon?
not speak about it on.
Oh, is it still pending?
No, it's kind of personal to me.
Oh, that's too bad. But was there a weapon involved? Yes or no?
Yeah, but I was not convicted for it.
Okay.
Basically,
Is the
I had
case
to do
over,
time.
or is
Yes,
it
the case
pen-
is over.
Oh, that's what I
I
was
had to
at-
do time because she didn't bail me out.
But before that happens, on the day that you're arrested, you call a friend of yours to bail you out, but the friend can't because the friend's not 18?
Correct.
And how old are you?
I was 19 at the time.
And how old is she?
She-
I was 24 at the time.
Okay, so what happens? How does she end up being the person who helps you?
All right. So I knew her from a previous situation. She was my friend's friend. That's the only way I knew her, but I trusted her to bail me out. That was the only situation.
Right, so what did you do? You gave her, like you're in jail, so how does it mechanically work?
Okay, I gave my friend my PIN, and she had went in with my friend. I told my friend, don't let anybody get my PIN, don't let anybody see. In the surveillance, I've heard, that's what the TD Bank told me. They told me, if you want to see the records, you have to subpoena it. I tried to get it before I came here.
Okay.
And it's her and my friend in the ATM, and also in the drive-thru. She was a driver, so she was in the drive-thru. She put the PIN in, so
Okay.
she knew my PIN as
So
well.
obviously your friend gave her the PIN, but go ahead. How much money is withdrawn?
It was 3,200 withdrawn, 200 was put back, 3,000 was withdrew.
When did they put the 200 back?
The same day, but it was put back in a different account, so I couldn't see it right then and there. So I just
of course,
called about
so
the
in
situation.
your mind, your friend and your friend's friend took $200.
Correct, but
That
I
they-
let it go.
Right, and then what happened?
And
Did you
then
ever confront her about it?
Did we speak? I forgot. We
Did you
spoke.
text?
We probably did text, and we argued, and she said something like, don't go back to jail. And that's when I was like, how could you say that to me if I bailed out with my own money? I'm confused. I went to bail bonds. She said, the signature was lifted. She never said, this is why I said they're friends. She never said, Your signature was lifted, you're gonna go back to jail when you go to court the next day, the next week. I had 5 days home. I bailed out in 5 days. I went back to court. I went back to court and went back to jail.
And they took you in.
Exactly.
And why did they take her in?
All right, first of all, I took my name off the bail packet because when she first came home and she met with Diana.
Who's Diana?
Diana's the bail lady. She was highly disrespectful to her. When she left the bail bond when she left the bail bond, Diana called me like, yo, okay. Because on the packet, you can see I called her my cousin. She's like, yo, your cousin is crazy. It's something literally wrong with her. I'm like, what happened? She's like, oh, she's mad disrespectful. She coming up in here like I owe her something. She don't have no filter. She talking to me like I'm crazy, and she talking to me like I'm not the one that helps her. So I'm like, listen, just let it rock. She just came home from jail. She going through stuff. She did not go home she did not get locked up 5 days later. You could look at the day that...
Why did she get locked up?
Oh, she got locked up because I took my name off the bail packet.
Why
because
did you
of her
take
mouth.
your name
Because of her
off
mouth.
of... Wait, first of all, how do you get to take your name off a promissory note?
Because you can...
Just excuse me.
you
Do
can
I need
do
your
that.
help?
I asked Diana, I said, how can I get off the bail packet? And she said,
but
only
like,
thing
I
you
want
gotta
you
do
to
is take
think a
your name off
second.
of it.
If she wasn't your homie, you think that you could take your name off of a promissory note and yank somebody who used their money, because it was their money. It wasn't your money. It was her money that she used to bail out. You did her a favor. You didn't like her tone. The bail lady didn't like her tone. But how dare you tell her, I'll tell you what, we'll show her. Lift my signature. I'm not, I hereby... Loviosa, you know, and there's no more signature. And boom, and then she gets yanked in and spends 5 months in jail?
But whose fault is that, though? That's not my
It's
fault.
your fault.
It's
She could be.
my fault that
yes.
it's my fault that she's running her mouth and she's running her mouth to me.
I don't know who you are,
That's
but you need to
crazy.
get out because we don't scream from a chair in my courtroom. You with the good hoops. You out. That one right there who's screaming from her chair. Out. Out, please. Out. Okay.
To your left, please.
See, you think I don't understand why you did what you did. I don't understand that you did what you did. I understand that you feel she should be grateful, and she should. I understand that you were insulted that she accused you, I guess.
Can I say something real quick?
Wait a minute. That she accused you of stealing when you did it. Because apparently it was in the other account or
But
whatever.
the $200, let's make this clear. The money that she's claiming that was missing and that was
She's
put
wrong.
back in
Right.
her account. Listen,
She admits she's wrong.
She never, ever said anything to me about that. That was never
Oh,
brought
well
to,
then
she
why
never
did
said
you
nothing
tell,
to me. She
why'd
never
you tell
said
your
that to me.
homie to lift the bond? Why did you do that?
I told her to lift, this is why I told her to lift the bond. She texted me talking about paper or something. She was like, oh, could you sign this paper for me? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So she's like, when you gonna do it? When you gonna do it? I said, I'm at work right now. And I said, no problem. Oh, so when the F is you gonna do it? Because
Do you have those texts?
I don't have those texts.
Do you have
it's
those
a whole
texts?
new phone.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Do you have those
When I got
texts?
incarcerated, I lost my phone.
Okay, and you don't have those
I
texts?
don't have those texts, but
Okay.
she know what she said in the text.
Okay,
She
no,
was going-
stop! Do you hear yourself? So basically, you wrecked someone's life because they smack talk me. And nobody smack talks me.
It's not
Do
about
you
smack
think,
talking,
no,
it's
stop.
about respect, because that's
stop,
exactly what her mother didn't
stop,
wanna bail her out.
Stop,
Like,
and
right?
listen
Would've
to
bailed
me.
out.
You're not in the street right now, you're in my courtroom. So everybody take it down a notch. Go ahead.
Okay. She was on a payment plan. She knew, all right, she's going around saying I did all of this and did all that. She's saying the thing with the paper. Like, first of all, she never showed me a paper.
What was the paper she wanted you to sign? What was the gist of it?
She never told me what, she just said, I want you to sign this paper. And I asked her what was the paper, and she never said what the paper was for. She never said what the paper was for. And if it was so much lies, I mean,
No,
if it was so much lies.
Wait, just a second. What about everything I've said makes you think you could shout out lies?
I apologize, but
yeah, keep your mouth shut. Go ahead.
If it's so much lies,
Yeah.
you have iCloud. Everything is backed up.
I know.
Your text messages, everything is backed up.
Here's the
So
deal.
why
I don't
don't
care.
you have this?
See, there's no lies. There's you telling me that the following happened. You went to her bank account and you got $3,000.
I never went to
I'm
her
sorry.
bank account. I
I'm
never
sorry.
went into
I
her
need
bank
you to
account.
stop talking. You go with other people to the bank and $3,000 is obtained. You go to your bond lady and post $3,000. You sign a promissory note obligating yourself for the full rest of the $25,000 bond if she skips. The idea is that she gets to stay out. There is a huge difference between someone who is spending where'd you go?
Rikers Island.
Rikers Island. 5 months at Rikers by the time her case comes up, and someone who's on the outside. The person who's on the outside is in a position of strength. They've been on the outside. The person who spent 5 months is desperate to get out and not have a continuance. They just want the case over with that day. So that person's going to plead out. You see? So there's a big difference, to say nothing of the fact that there's 5 months at Rikers. Okay? So here's the part that can't happen. It only happened because she's your homie. You call her and you tell her, I don't like how she's acting. She's completely ungrateful. I know she's ungrateful. I'm going to give you this, she's ungrateful. But it's like me going, come here. Like this to Douglas, and Douglas shooting me. You gave her the death penalty for touching you. Go ahead, go back down. I just wanted to touch you.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Okay, I have a human nature question. When you feel somebody does you wrong, are people generally vindictive when that happens?
I think so. At first, as long as you have good friends to bring you back in and...
To reel you back?
Yeah, to make sure.
What do you think? I mean, do people generally try to hurt somebody else when they hurt them?
Yes, I mean, it's a defensive mechanism. You know, when you're on the defensive, when you feel like you're being played.
When you're being played, you play somebody else? Kinda.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Going inside the courtroom.
Ridiculous. It's so vicious and vindictive and nasty. And then when you do that, the only reason you can get away with doing that is because the person is your homie, and she's loving it because what does she do? She keeps a premium for 5 days of risk. And so between the two of you, you kept her $3,000. What the heck you think is going to happen today? Number one, she's getting back every bit of her $3,000. And number two, you're not getting a penny for defamation of character because everything she says you did, you did. You don't have a right to do what you did. You and the bondsman engaged in some highly irregular, highly inappropriate behavior because neither one of you like how she sassed you.
It's not about how she's
it's because you sassed them. Both of them thought you were sassy. So maybe you should be less sassy too. Maybe that. But it doesn't matter because that's like you poking them and them shooting you 8 times in the head. That's how it is. And it's not permissible. So you get your whole $3,000 back. You don't get a penny for defamation of character. And let me give you a piece of advice. You need to file a complaint against the bondsman.
Thank you.
Okay? That's my verdict.
So, in a fascinating case about how it works when you're out on bail, the plaintiff is going to get her $3,000 back. You know, you're laughing, but the judge really let you have it. I mean, because of what you did, she spent 5 months in jail.
No, it's because of what she did. She spent 5 months
No, what, she
in jail.
sassed you a little bit.
No, she
right?
didn't sass me.
You lifted your name off the promissory note.
Yes, I
that
did.
Canceled her bail.
I did.
And so that's why she spent 5 months in jail.
Well, she would never hit the girl in the head with a bottle. Then
See?
she wouldn't have been in jail.
Do you feel
in
at
the
all
first place.
bad for doing that?
I mean,
seriously.
what did I do wrong, though?
Suppose it had been you.
But suppose it
You
be
spent
me,
5
I
months
would have
in
played
jail.
my cards right. I wouldn't be sitting there talking to people like, basically, you don't bite the hand I fed you.
Yeah, well,
Basically.
obviously you don't feel bad at all.
I don't, and now she could get off my.
Don't say it.
Now she got
All
her
right,
bread. Now she can
okay,
sit
go
down.
ahead. Goodbye. All right, Ariel is on her way out of the courtroom. You know, I really feel sorry for what all you went through. I'm not sure exactly what it was that got you in there in the first place. But bottom line is, what was it like?
It was terrible. I never want to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was terrible. All right, you get your $3,000.
Yes,
Think you've
I'm
learned anything
excited.
from all of this?
Thank you. And
I'm sure you have.
the best lesson I learned was not to trust anybody. And yeah.
All right. Okay, you must sign a few documents. We don't get many cases like that, Harvey. What do you think?
Okay, and Doug, by the way, the reason the countersuit got defense is that truth is a defense in a defamation case. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Dalton Lyell. She says she and the plaintiff worked together, and she moved into her 2-bedroom house, and the rent was $450 a month. One day, the defendant asked her to prepay a month's rent because she was broke, so she gave her $450 in advance. Turns out, the defendant didn't pay her share of the rent for a few months. Now the woman won't give her back the $450 she paid her in advance, so she's suing. This is the defendant, Amanda Alpizar. She says she told the plaintiff she wasn't going to renew her lease, but then changed her mind and decided to stay. The plaintiff told her she was going to move out anyway and demanded her rent back. This wasn't their deal, and she had no idea the plaintiff was going to leave early and move out. Since the plaintiff was the one who changed their agreement, she feels she doesn't owe her anything and thinks the judge will agree. She's accused of rubbing a roommate the wrong way.
All parties, please use your radians.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff and the defendant worked together, ended up living together, but it didn't work out. The plaintiff says the defendant stiffed her. The defendant says the plaintiff bailed early, so go pound sand. It's the case of rubbing a roommate the wrong way.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Dalton Leal,
Dalton.
you are suing Amanda Alpizar for $450 in rent that you had prepaid, and you didn't end up staying. Tell me what happened.
So I met Amanda at work. I was in a situation where I needed somewhere to live. She said, you can move in with me if you pay me $450 every month. So I moved in November 24th, I think it was, gave her the $450 the next day, I think. And after that, probably 2 weeks later, she was fired from our job.
Why was she fired?
She was late a lot and absent a lot.
Okay.
So she didn't have a job for the whole time after that I lived there. She did
And where is there? Is it a house? Is it an apartment? What is it?
an apartment.
Okay. How many bedrooms?
So, 2.
Okay.
2
And it was
bedrooms,
just
2
the two of
baths.
you living there?
And we both have a child.
Okay, so the children were also living there. How old is your child?
He is 5. He just
And
turned
how
5.
old is your child?
She's 3.
Okay, so go ahead. Did they get along? Okay, go ahead.
So every month, rent was due on the 24th. She would ask me around like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, something like that, if I could pay her rent early.
So were you paying in advance every month? So you paid in advance in December. You paid in advance in January.
Correct.
And then what day did you pay February 24th through March 24th?
I paid it,
Early February?
yes, it was like the 4th.
Is that accurate?
5th.
That is.
Early February? Okay, so then what happens towards the end of February? Or middle of February, I
After
should
she
say.
told me 2 days later, after I gave her rent almost 3 weeks early, she tells me 2 days later, well, I'm moving out. And I said, okay, well, instead of having to prorate the money that you owe me, because I paid February 24th through March 24th, the lease was up March 5th. I said, instead of trying to prorate that, I'll just leave February 24th. You can give me the whole $450 back. And
March 5th was when the lease was up. So you just said, look, I'll just leave the 24th and give me back the whole month rent. And
Right.
she
said, as soon as I start working,
I'll pay you back.
I'll pay you back.
okay, then
basically.
what happens?
So then I wasn't really there a lot. I was staying with my boyfriend a lot, and I would come there, get clothes. We wouldn't speak. It was just awkward. Her boyfriend and her boyfriend's son were always there. I'm in nursing school, so I just needed quiet, and that's not really her fault. It's my personal preference. I need to study in quiet. So I wasn't there a lot. It was just really awkward. We didn't speak. And then it was February 21st, I believe. I get this text late at night. When are you leaving? What day? What time? I need to know exactly when. Leave my keys on my table in my house. I'm like, well, it's mine until March 24th, technically, so.
Right.
But I told you I'd be out by February 24th. I had finals all that week, so I said, I'll be out by February 24th. And she just kept on and then said, I'm going to pack your things for you.
May I see those texts?
Sure.
Let me get your version of that. What happened?
So pretty much everything she said is correct, other than the fact that she left out that she agreed that she would stay until March the 5th.
Well, but let's hold on. Okay, the first thing that happens is you tell her I'm not renewing my lease.
At that point, I thought I was moving to Gainesville with my boyfriend.
Okay, but had you not been paying rent?
I had not, no.
How many months had you not paid rent?
3 months.
Okay, so is it I don't want to renew my lease, or they're not going to renew my lease?
I have a good standing relationship with my property manager. I rented from them prior to the apartment I'm currently living in. With the lease I still have, I'm still there.
So you had decided that you were going to leave, and you tell her that, and then she tells you, okay, so just give me back that rent I prepaid.
So at that point in time, we were on good terms. We were
Right.
speaking. So she came home from school that day. I remember it perfectly. I was standing on the stairs. She was in the dining room. I said, okay, well, since the lease is up on the 5th of March and you've already paid, for February to March 24th, we'll just prorate it. We'll divide $450 by 30 days, and that'll be $280. That's what I'll give you. She agreed to it.
And then what happened?
And then, I guess a day or two later is what I have here over text, her saying that instead of her staying until the 5th, she found a new place to live, and she'll be out by the 24th of February. That way I can just give her the full $450 back. And I told her that I didn't have it to give back to her, that I had already paid 2 bills with it, and that I just didn't have it.
Did you ever say to her, okay, I'll give you the money? Because you thought you could, or?
I just didn't want to deal with her anymore.
So you said what?
So I said, okay, whenever I get a job, we'll definitely do that.
Okay, and then what went wrong?
So is it a good idea for 2 people who work together to actually end up becoming roommates?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
I think you'd see too much of each other.
It's just so familiarity breeds contempt.
That's right.
Gotcha. What do you say?
Yeah, it crosses the line, personal and professional, so you're around them all the time.
What's the danger in it? What's the danger?
I think if you spend too much time with a person, then you could know their pros and cons, and it just is not.
So don't get to know anybody because people are basically suck.
Exactly.
Got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
Instead of her leaving the keys, the house key and the mailbox key on my dining room table, like I asked her to, and like she said that she would.
Because by that point you had told her I'm staying.
Correct.
Right.
She left with the keys. I texted her about 15 minutes after she moved out. I said, why didn't you leave the keys on the table like I asked you to? She said that she'd be returning them to the property manager the next day. I said, why would you do that? I gave them to you. They're my keys. Come to find out, I had a conversation with the property manager, and she went in there and told him a bunch of lies.
Like what?
He wasn't there when she showed up to drop the keys off. His exact words were, I don't find it to be important to repeat what I was told that she said, but pretty much she was trying to get me to kick you and Adeline out of your house.
Okay, so you know it wasn't positive.
Correct.
Okay. Did you go trash her to the property manager?
I went there, I returned the keys. I said, just so you know, I've been giving her money every month and she hasn't been paying rent with
Right,
it.
so how is that, if that's what she did, because that is true. She's been paying rent for 3 months and you haven't. You've been using the rent she's paying you. Meanwhile, you put her in a position where she's not able to continue living there even though she's prepaid the rent. She's got to find a new place to live because you haven't been paying rent, so they're probably not going to renew your, because that could be the property manager, but he's not the owner. So, the owner is not going to say, yeah, let's give her a new lease when she owes us 3 months rent. That's not going to happen. So, those things are on you. You tell her by text, I'm pretty positive A, that's him?
No, I call my daughter A for short.
Okay, A and I are moving to Gainesville, so I don't think I'm going to re-sign the lease. She says, so the money I gave you was for February 24th through March 24th, but we won't be there till then, so we'll have to figure something out about that. Yes, we will, you answer. I'm just going to move before the 24th of this month, so you can give me the full $450 back. To which you say, listen, I've paid two bills with the money you gave me. Listen, I paid 2 bills with the money you gave me. Okay, you're supposed to pay rent with it. So I'm not able to pull it out of my behind. I will get it to you as soon as I have it. Thank you for understanding that I have bills to pay and I haven't even started working yet. To which she replies, I understand that you have bills and no job, but I also have to take care of my bills too. To which you respond, I do not know what you're expecting me to say. I don't want this to get nasty, but like I said, I can't just pull it out of my behind. Okay, let's talk about when things get nasty. When are you planning to move out? You answer before the 24th. Your answer is duh, you got a day in mind? Her answer is I live there till the 24th, so I don't have to give you an answer. Legally, she's completely correct. And don't tell me what to do. To which you respond, are you ready? Do you remember this text?
I do.
Oh, it's awesome. Listen, the B word, ... Listen, B word. It just loses everything when you say B word. You live here until I say you live here. There's no other way. I can't read that nicely, so I'm only going to read it in the way you intended it. I can very easily change the locks. No, you can't. It's actually a crime for you to do that. And have you asked for your blank, 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 blank So don't make it that way before I decide that's the only way. And then a series of little AOKs. These are my keys. So if by telling you to leave them in my house on my table means you interpret that by me telling you what to do, then you're just dumb. Get the out. Fabulous. You kiss your child with this mouth. I don't know what, she answers, I don't know why you're trying to make this nasty. I live there, I pay rent there, I will have my things out by the 24th. She's right. You really can't be insisting on a prior date. I'll have your, to which you respond on the 21st of February, I'll have your things packed by tonight. You don't have a right to touch her stuff. Who do you think you are?
That it wasn't right of me. I will acknowledge that.
Okay.
But she.
So now February 24th, when do you plan on starting to give me the 450 back? When do you plan on starting to give me the 450 back? February 27th, March 12th. When do you plan on starting to give me just copy paste, no contact, lawsuit? Have I got it? Yeah. Okay. I have a couple things to say to you young ladies. One, pick up the phone. This is no way to communicate. It got out of hand because of the intonation each of you were reading into each other's texts. And it didn't need to get out of hand. You were clearly in the wrong. You owe her the $450, and that's my ruling, okay? You're in the wrong legally, you're in the wrong morally, you're in the wrong every which way possible, and you owe her the $450, and I'm ruling in your favor. But take this as a learning experience about what happens when there's no communication between people. If you and I talk to each other, and I talk to you and say, I don't know what you're mad at, you take a step back. That's what happens, because that's called empathy. And what is being lost with your generation is the empathy. And you don't know that until you know it. I hope you think about that the next time you're text fighting with anybody, and then you notice the difference when you speak one-on-one, how much better you feel, how much better you make the other person feel, and how much better the other person feels. Good luck to both of you.
So I know in certain terms the plaintiff prevails in this lawsuit. Ms. Alpazar, you just got quite a lecture from the judge. I'm just wondering, what are you thinking right now?
She was right. I was morally wrong. I was upset the fact that she tried to get me and my daughter kicked out of our house. She agreed to me giving her back $280 and decided to move out early. So.
Well, as the judge put it, you were wrong in every way possible in this situation. I was wondering about the lecture she gave you about texting and why sometimes it can be read wrong by the other person. Do you understand that? Did you get it?
I do.
All right, thank you very much. You do have to pay. Miss Lyle?
Yeah.
So how you doing?
I'm okay.
You all right?
Yes.
I was worried a little bit about you. And you know, all this is going on and you're in finals.
Yes.
How did that happen? How'd you do in your final exam?
I passed them.
You did?
I have 5 months left.
Okay, well, congratulations. I'm sorry you went through this, you know.
Thank you.
The judge said you're totally in the right, so congratulations.
Thank you.
I hope you're in a happy place now.
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Harvey?
Hey, Doug, when you text and you're in the middle of a dispute, you got to realize that could end up biting you in the butt. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Carrie Jo. She says she pawned some jewelry at the defendant's pawn shop, paid the finance charge each month, and when she went to retrieve her belongings, the defendant tells her he can't find them. Can't find them? How dare he lose her valuable jewelry she entrusted to his care? He refuses to make good on her things, and she's here in the name of the law, suing for the $5,000 she's now out. These are the defendants, David and Cindy. David says he has no idea what happened to the plaintiff's stuff. In all the years they've been in business, this has never happened. The plaintiff only pawned her stuff for 1 month, then came back for it, so that's a little weird. Bottom line, they aren't responsible for theft or loss, but to be nice, they offered her the value of her jewelry based on its weight, which came out to $200, nothing near the $5,000 she's trying to extort from them today. They're accused of losing it.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff pawned her jewelry, and now the pawn shop can't find the stuff. But the defendant says it's all a mystery, but they're not exactly saying what happened. It's the case of I'm not your pawn.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Carrie Jo, you're suing their company, David and Cindy's Pawn Company, for $5,000 for losing your stuff. Tell me about it.
Yes. I pawned some electronics and some jewelry at their shop. I left it there and went back and paid the finance charge for several months. When I went to pick it back up, they were able to locate the 2 electronic items, a laptop computer and a digital screen projector. They were able to locate that, but they couldn't locate my jewelry.
Okay, so what jewelry was missing?
I have a list. It was an engagement ring, a wedding ring, an anniversary ring, an engagement style ring, which is just like an engagement ring, a pearl ring.
Okay, I see your list, a peridot ring. Is that how you pronounce that word?
Peridot.
Peridot. Pearl earrings. Do you have your receipt from when you pawned this stuff?
I don't have that one.
Okay, can I see it from you?
Sure.
What day did you pawn it?
On February 12th, I believe.
Of 2016?
Yes.
Okay, 1 laptop Toshiba, which isn't in question, 1 projector, and then it says jewelry.
Yes.
1 Tiffany bracelet and charm, 1 Tiffany chain with charm, 1 silver ring, 1 jewelry. I don't know what that means.
No.
What does 1 jewelry describe?
I wasn't there. I didn't write this up, but
Well, you're here, so you're
I
the
know
only
I'm
guy I
here.
can ask.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
he
Are
put
those
down
separate items?
the carat and the weight of the jewelry, but it's 6 rings, a bracelet, and a chain and charm, and a set of earrings.
How long have you been in business?
Oh,
This pawn shop 5 years, but he owned one previous.
Okay. And you work there too?
I do.
Okay. Are you two married? No. Are you two an item, or we just work together? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get oh, well, oh gosh, wait, she's looking at him. All right, never mind. Didn't mean to go there. Didn't mean to go there. All right. Do you take pictures of the items when they get pawned?
Yes.
we do.
Where are the pictures of these items?
I don't know. I have no pictures, no,
Unfortunately, somebody else was covering for us.
and I have no jewelry,
You got no jewelry. You got no pictures.
and
You've got no explanation, but you want to give her just like you want to get out of this by giving her like just the weight of gold,
no. Well,
as though she was trying to sell it desperately to you, as opposed to that you lost her jewelry.
I gave her the same catalog right here. And I told her, look in here, look at the weights, because the rings are like 1, 2 penny weights a piece. Look at rings similar to it, and we'll purchase them, because we get like 75% off the price.
Oh, I know, it's a good
Because we're
deal for you.
wholesalers.
Right, but she didn't like anything, right? She didn't pick something out from
I
there.
never got the catalog back. I never even heard from her after
Where's the
this.
catalog?
It's at my house. You never responded to any of my phone calls unless I got you on the phone or I came to your shop. You never
Okay, talk to
once-
me, not him.
Sorry, you never once reached out to me.
Well, not me.
about
You didn't reach out to me.
He
did not.
never reached out to me once about any of this. I had to
He
keep
just started
showing up.
ignoring you, but he wants his book back now.
I had to keep showing up at the shop or calling repeatedly to try to get a hold
Tell
of
me about these pieces of jewelry. Do you have receipts for them?
I only have a receipt for one.
Okay, which is which one?
Which is the engagement style ring I described it as. It's an engagement ring, but I bought it for myself. It wasn't from a man.
Good for you. All right. All right, let me see that.
There was an original price on the top, but the price that I paid because it was on sale is listed within the receipt.
Okay. And you don't have, how do you get the estimated costs?
I did that off the internet, so that's why I
Yeah,
said
but how are you going to do that?
Yeah, right. I just looked for pictures. Like, I do have pictures of these items were pawned at another shop. These aren't so they were pawned. I labeled them at a shop like a year before that.
Where'd you get those pictures?
From that pawn shop.
Because they take pictures.
They took pictures.
Yeah.
And it also has the projector as well in the picture.
Yeah, let me see that.
The 2 big ones.
How much money did you get for pawning all these items?
I think the total I got that day was like 200 and something.
$300?
Yeah, it wasn't much. I'm not
What did
good
you
at.
so desperately need the $300 for?
I was
that
running
you-
my own business and it wasn't doing well, and I needed to pay rent, and I had just recently had a disability, so.
Which of these rings is the one that was $1,900 and something dollars?
The F.
F. What's your game plan here? What's your defense?
So if the pawn shop can't find it, can't come up with an explanation, are they responsible?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a business and you took something into your possession, I think you're responsible for it.
Fair enough. What do you say? Quickly.
Definitely. It's their job to keep track of it, and they failed at that job.
Well said. Going inside the courtroom.
Cindy's looking at you wondering whether you're an item, number one, and number two, what your defense is.
I offered to make good on this, Your Honor.
Yeah, but you offered to make good the cheap way. Hey, pick something out of my catalog because I get 75%.
I was still.
She says she had to call you, and then she finally just decided to sue you.
That's not true.
Okay. So how do you propose to make good?
I told her pick stuff out of my showcase.
She doesn't want stuff out of yours.
Out of the book.
What was your offer to her?
But I mean, even in her list, and just stuff on this list that's not on the pawn list. Like she's got other stuff she added more stuff to it.
Okay, tell me how that happened. Show me because
I don't know how it happened.
See, well, I'll tell you. You're supposed to know because what's supposed to happen is what? You're supposed to take a picture. You're supposed to have it clearly identified. The identity on the picture that you take has to have the tag on it already. You're supposed to have the cross-reference. You're supposed to have a lot of things that you don't have, right?
We do
what
that
do you
all
do?
the time.
Huh?
We do it all the time. I wasn't there.
Yeah, well, then maybe your big sin is leaving it in the hands of someone who not only didn't know what they were doing because you didn't teach them or you picked the wrong person, but also may have taken the stuff because now we can't find it. And have you searched all over?
Yes, I have. I ripped the place apart.
We moved from
And then we
that,
moved across
so
the
we've
street.
been through everything.
And I did it piece by piece. Because we never lost nothing, ever, ever, ever. This is the very first time. And it had happened because we have pictures of everything. And I looked through the cameras, I threw the pictures, and I couldn't figure out where's the picture. So unless my guy left it on the counter and somebody else took it, and it happened real fast, and he probably thought he put it away, but
Gold chain necklace with diamond, irreplaceable, given as a gift from my father to my mother when I was born. Money clip, irreplaceable, it was my grandfather's. Don't pawn it.
I agree.
What'd you get for that, $10?
Yeah, exactly.
Money clip isn't even on here.
I regret every moment of pawning these items.
I know, and I don't mean to, most times, every single article isn't valuable and meaningful.
I know.
Like you're saying. So either it's not that valuable and meaningful, or it's just not worth it to keep running your business.
Yeah. I had to pay the rent. I have a daughter.
Yeah.
And I know I had hoped to get more that day, and I didn't, and I should have known, and I regret it every single day.
A gold bracelet, irreplaceable, given as a gift from my stepfather when he adopted me. Wow.
I was with my ex-husband when we bought the wedding ring. I know that was about $300, and I bought
I noticed you didn't write anything about how meaningful that one was.
Yeah, right, I'm divorced. But you know what? The meaning is that they were going to go to my daughter, and they're not now, and there's no way I can replace that.
Great. Okay, I'm finding in your favor in the amount of $3,500. Verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff gets a judgment for $3,500. I'm really interested in something. David and Cindy have just come out. Sure. Do you think the value of those rings would have been $3,500? You gave her $300 for pawning that. Would that have been about right? Somebody pawned something worth $3,000 that you'd only get $300 for it?
No, we don't think the value was that much.
You don't?
No.
Well, the interesting thing is, obviously, you didn't do the right thing. Somebody in your shop didn't do the right thing, and that hurt you here.
You're right. We learned a lesson.
You sure did. You sure did.
A valuable lesson.
So she's going to get back $3,500. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. You must sign some documents outside. All righty. Carrie Jo. You know, I know you're getting $3,500, but listening to you talk, boy, it sounds to me like those items were worth a lot more than that to you. Am I right?
They really were, yeah.
I mean, a lot of sentimental value.
I dread the day I have to tell my daughter why she doesn't have those rings.
No kidding. Yeah, well, I'm so sorry for you. I think everybody feels sorry for you.
Thank
you. Hey, look, you got $3,500.
Yeah.
All right, good enough.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Interesting case, Harvey.
Okay, Doug, a little bit of a tip. If you take something to a pawn shop and it's super expensive, at the very least, take a photo of that item, and that will help you establish damages if they lose it.
Don't text and drive. The People
People's Court is a Ralph Edwards, Stu Willett production.